Good day, everyone. So we're here to present or discuss with each other what is women and development. So before that, we are going to know more about women and development. So women and development is an approach that emerged in 1970s to actively involve women in the development process of a country, and it promotes the concept of recognition of women's importance, addressing gender inequality, and integrating women into development. Women and development brought to light the significant contributions women have always made. So, ayan, this new approach is really essential because it emphasized that women has always played in development and advocated for their full participation in building a better future. And today we'll look back and discuss the 10 notable accomplishments of women and development, as these milestones not only mark their progress but it also serves as a testament to the resilience and strength of women worldwide. So first, we'll have Miss Lay Lopez.
So, for the first accomplishment of Women in Development, we have the Women for Women International. The Women for Women International was founded in 1993 by an Iraqi woman, Zainab Salbi, and Palestinian American Amjad Atala in response to the atrocities faced by women during the Bosnian War. It has played a vital role in empowering over a half a million marginalized women in countries affected by war, conflict, and violence. The organization conducts projects that enable women to earn and save money, influence decisions in their communities and homes, improve their well-being and health, and connect to network for support. So far, the organization has helped more than 478,000 women across the world to rebuild their lives after the war. Women for Women International uses its voice to call for global attention to the unique role that women play in advancing peace throughout society. Through organizations projects, women learn about their rights on key issues such as access to land, voting, divorce, domestic abuse, and as well as custody over children. In this way, the organization strives to empower women to stand for themselves. The organization also advocates for a long-term change for marginalized women who survive a war by partnering up with the other organizations to influence policies and practices. To discuss the next accomplishment, here is Ms. Kyla Balolo.
Samahan ng mga Pilipina para sa Reforma at Kaunlaran o Filipinas for Reform and Development, SPARKS. SPARK is a SEC-registered non-government organization composed of empowered women and women champions committed to the development of women and women's organization as full partners in national development. Among the goals and activities of Sparks are: number 1, improve access to resources and strategic participation. Number 2, inclusive policy and practices. Number 3, stronger interconnection, partnerships, and networks among different women groups and organizations in the country. Number 4, mentoring the next generation of Filipino women. And lastly, engaging men to advocate and support women's issues.
The third accomplishment would be the Pambansang Koalisyon ng Kababaihan sa Kanayunan o PKCK. It was founded in 1990 and is based in Manila. The organization has over 200,000 members and works with other women's organizations to advocate for women's rights. PKKK is committed to improving the status of women in the Philippines and also works to promote gender equality through education and advocacy. PCCC is a national organization that continues to strive to give equal opportunities regardless of gender. The organization advocates for policy reforms that improve the status of women in the Philippines and provide training and education programs on gender issues. PCCC is a coalition of small farmers, fishers, agricultural workers, indigenous women, and workers in the informal economy working towards the elimination of discrimination, violence, and poverty, and also contributing to strengthen women's movement. They work for the empowerment of rural women and the creation of an enabling policy environment for the fulfillment and protection of rural women's rights. It includes the following goals: first is empower the rural women to contribute and benefit significantly to the women's movement building. The second is enable policy environment for the fulfillment and protection of rural women's rights, specifically ensuring the rural women's agenda on property rights, peace, anti-violence against women and children, reproductive health, social enterprise, social protection, climate change, and gender-responsive governance. Lastly, it established PKK's role as the information and network center of the rural women's agenda. The next accomplishment would be reported by Camille.
For the Women's Business Council Philippines, which is made up the leading female business executive and entrepreneurship in the nation, is the premier voice for women in business, motivating and inspiring women throughout the nation. In 1997, President Fidel V. Ramos, through the endorsement of Trade Secretary Cesar Bautista and Undersecretary Ernesto V. Ordonez recognized Women Biz PH as the voice of women in business. Women Biz PH is the primary private sector partner of the government, notably the Department of Trade and Industry and the Philippine Commission on Women, and it represents the Philippines in APEC and ASEAN event. So, ang Women Business Council Philippines ay isang organisasyon na nagtataguyod ng kapangyarihan sa pag-unlad ng mga kababaihan sa larangan ng negosyo sa Pilipinas. Women Bids PH sat on the board of the National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women, providing mutual access between the different government organizations, international development organizations, and women in business. Recognizing that women-related issues are not the responsibility of women alone, Women Biz PH entered into partnership and sponsorship with male-dominated groups, government agencies, and international organizations. Next one. Next, please. The mission of the Women's Business Council Philippines likely revolves around empowering women in the Philippines to succeed in the business sector and fostering an environment of gender equality and inclusivity. So, for the missions, we have the first one to serve as the voice of women in business. Ang WBCP ay naglalayong maghatid ng edukasyon at impormasyon sa mga kababaihan upang matulungan silang mapalawak at palakasin ang kanilang negosyo. Ito ay maaaring isagawa sa pamamagitan ng mga seminar, workshop, at iba pang mga aktibidad na naglalayong magbigay ng kasanayan at kaalaman sa mga kasapi. Shape policies for women's economic empowerment. Ang pangunahing layunin ng WBCP ay magbigay ng oportunidad at suporta sa mga kababaihan na nais magnegosyo o yumabong sa kanilang mga negosyo. Ito ay nagsasama ng pagbibigay ng mga kaalangan at kasanayan sa pamamahala ng negosyo, pagsasanay at pagbibigay ng mga mapagkukunan. Be a major force in global networking for women in business and enable access to network markets, finance, training, technology, and capacity building. Sa pamamagitan ng aktibidad at layunin na ito ng WBCP ay naglalayong maging isang mahalagang ahensya sa pagtataguyod ng mga kababaihan sa larangan ng negosyo sa Pilipinas na naglalayong lumikha na mas maunlad at pantay na lipunan ng negosyante. For the fifth milestone, we have Christine Garcia.
So let me reiterate that Women in Development focuses on promoting social transformation by addressing the underlying power imbalance in the society when it comes to gender equality. Therefore, another accomplishment made by Women in Development is the establishment of the Philippine Business Coalition for Women Empowerment, or the PBCWE. This organization was one of the six women's group made by Philippines Women Economic Network, or the PhilWen, that all advocates for economic empowerment of women through various initiatives. PBCWE works by equipping women with skills and knowledge and providing training programs on various topics like financial literacy and navigating anti-sexual harassment policies. This goal equips women to be more competitive and confident in the workplace. Aside from that, they also promotes gender inclusive workplaces by collaborating with major companies to create policies and practices that support women's advancement. This could include flexible work arrangements or programs that encourage women to pursue leadership roles, fostering an environment where women can thrive, contribute, and achieve their full potential. Lastly, PBCW's approach goes beyond individual women. By working with influential businesses, they aim to create a lasting shift in corporate culture where gender equality becomes the norm. This representation of women and development highlights that all Filipino women should be regarded and treated equally in all spheres of life. By providing women with the means to build better futures for themselves and their families, PBCWE enables women to govern their own lives, ensuring their voices are heard and their aspirations are realized. This in turn contributes to their overall economic well being and societal influence that creates a sense of developing women or being a part of women and development instead of integrating them into a social system they have always been a part of. Next accomplishment of women and development will be provided by Miss Eliza Bautista.
Gabriela Women's Party, founded in 1984 and recognized as a party list in 2003, champions Filipino women's right with a left-wing ideology, securing electoral success in 2004. Known for its slogan, Babae, Bata, Bayan, Tuloy ang Laban, Women, Children, and the Nation, the fight continues. It addresses issues like sexual violence and human trafficking while maintaining international affirmations. Rooted in defiance against Marcos' decree, it advocates for social transformation by challenging patriarchy and resisting foreign influence, maintaining a significant presence in Philippine politics. So dito, ito ay isang party list sa Pilipinas na nakatuon sa pagtataguyod ng mga karapatan ng kababaihan at ito ay ipinangalan kay Gabriela Silang, isang bayaning Pilipina at ang layunin ng partido ay lumaban para sa karapatan at kagalingan ng mga kababaihan sa iba't ibang aspekto tulad ng kalusugan, edukasyon at ekonomiya at pati na rin sa paglaban sa karahasan laban sa kababaihan. So, ang next ay si J.N. Diaz.
Okay, so ang seventh Women in Development Accomplishment na ipapresent namin ay ang Women's Trade Union League or WTUL. Ang Women's Trade Union League ay isang American organization, the first national association dedicated to organizing women workers, founded in 1903. The Women's Trade Union League proved remarkably successful in uniting women from all classes to work toward better, fairer working conditions. The organization relied largely upon the resources of its own members, never receiving more than the token financial support from the American Federation of Labor, or the AFL, or other major organized labor groups. The National Women's Trade Union League was formed to assist in the organization of women wage workers into trade unions and thereby to help them secure conditions necessary for healthful and efficient work and to obtain a just reward for such work. The effort bonded women across economic and social divides, attracting a coalition of working class women, professional reformers, and women from wealthy and prominent families. Okay, so Women's Trade Union League started the overall revolution of women in the field of business. Way back, only men was recognized in the market, but things gradually evolved after the establishment of the Women's Trade Union League. It had garnered the attention of women interested in trading and business. Not only that it associated women of different ages, classes, and ways of businesses, it also supported and uplifted their spirit, if not their overall stance in their place in the market. Nonetheless, they were able to build the name of women out there in the world of market and shout to the world that we could do it too, and so something I believe. Although Women's Trade Union League dissolved in the same century, they were one of the pioneers that led women to fight for the rights that we deserve and perform the duties outside of the maternal image afflicted by the society. The League accomplished its mission to establish a well founded name of women in the trading and business field. Now, for the next accomplishment in the women in development. Next slide, please.
In the pursuit of gender equality and women's empowerment, the Philippines enacted the Magna Carta of Women, Republic Act 9710, a landmark legislation embodying the women and development approach. At its core, the WOD approach acknowledges the integral role of women in the socio-economic development of the nation. Section 20 of the Magna Carta of Women underscore the importance of women's contribution to food production and sustainability. The state guarantees women's active participation in ensuring the availability of safe and health giving food, addressing the specific needs of marginalized women and children. Moreover, the Section 22 emphasizes the right decent to work for women, promoting opportunities for productive and fairly remunerative employment. Decent work standards are vital, ensuring women's security, social protection, and opportunities for personal development. Additionally, the Magna Carta of Women mandates the creation of gender and development focal points in government agencies. These focal points serve as a catalyst for gender mainstreaming, integrating gender perspective into policies, programs, and processes. Through these provisions and mechanisms, the Magna Carta of Women upholds the principles of women and development, ensuring the active participation, protection, and empowerment of women in all aspects of society. With the Magna Carta of Women, the Philippines reaffirms its commitment to gender equality, recognizing that when women thrive, societies prosper. And for the next accomplishment, we have Miss Pinpin.
The Asia Pacific Forum on Women, Law and Development, or the APWLD, developed from the dialogues among women lawyers, social scientists, and activists from Asia Pacific, which began at the 1985 Third World Forum on Women. Participants in these dialogues recognized that gaining the capacity to mobilize people to understand the social, economic, and political dimension of women's oppression and take collective action for change required a clear focus and strong organization. So in 1986, women, lawyer, and activists in the region formally launched the APWLD. The organization believes that the advancement in women's human rights are the better attained and upheld through the presence of autonomous feminist movement operating with conducive environment. They hold the view that the law possesses the potential to act both repressively and transformatively. Employing feminist analysis, they aim to deconstruct, engage with, and reform laws, legal practices, and the overachieving system that influence them. An autonomous feminist group is a collective of women who operate independently without being subject to external influence or control. This group prioritizes the leadership and decision-making power of women with their own ranks, advocating for the advancement of women's rights and empowerment without relying on outside authorities or institutions. Autonomy in this context means the ability to set their own agenda, goals. Furthermore, they advocate for sustained and meaningful engagement with women themselves, spanning from grassroots to policy-making levels, as essential in infusing a feminist approach and perspective into advocacy efforts. This, they believe, is crucial for achieving enduring and impactful change. One of APWLD's notable projects is the Women's Rights Advocacy Initiative, which promotes the women's rights and gender equality in Asia Pacific. This initiative targets critical areas such as access to justice, ending violence against women, reproductive rights, and economic justice throughout engaging policymakers, conducting research, organizing campaigns, and mobilizing grassroots movements. The project has been instrumental in bringing attention to pressing issues affecting women's lives, empowering women to actively participate in policy making, and driving tangible improvements for women and girls across the region.
So let's move on to Republic Act 9262, or the Anti-Violence Against Women and the Children Act of 2004. So the RA 9262 is one of the contribution of women and development approach, played a crucial role in shaping Republic Act number 9262 by influencing the lawmakers to not only look for the legal remedies but also analyze the root cause of this problem. The Watt approach, which views women issues like violence against women and their children as systematic problems rooted in societal structures, advocates for systematic changes and women's empowerment. So, Republic Act number 9262 is a key law in the Philippines that tackles violence against women and children enacted on March 8, 2004. So, what are the violence under this act? So the violence under this act includes physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering, or economic abuse, including threats of such acts, battery, assault, coercion, harassment, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty. Um, it was a response to the need to confront the violence experienced by women, as I mentioned earlier, and children due to unequal power dynamics. The law provides the victims of violence with extensive legal protections. It reflects the principle by not just integrating women into existing legal system but by addressing the root causes of violence against women and children. It does this by providing comprehensive legal protection, setting up support services for victims, and requiring the formation of interagency councils on violence against women and their children. IAC BAUSI at different level. These measures aim to prevent and respond to BAUSI and assist victims in their recovery. So, what is AIC BAUSI? So, Interagency Council on Violence Against Women. Binubuo po siya ng 12-member agency which is the CSC, CHR, DepEd, DOH, DALD, DOJ, DOLE, DSWD, PCW, CWC, PNP, and NBI. Overall, it fosters a safer environment for women and children to pursue education, employment, and personal development, contributing to gender equality and sustainable development. So now for the conclusion, may I call on Miss Jana Masayes?
All things considered, these 10 achievements concerning women and development constitute an interconnected set of initiatives meant to empower women and advance gender parity across various sectors and regions. From grassroots organizations like Women for Women International and Gabriela Women's Party to legislative milestones such as the Magna Carta of Women and Republic Act number 9262. Each achievement signifies a step forward in addressing systemic inequalities and advancing women's rights. These initiatives encompass a wide range of strategies, including economic empowerment, advocacy for policy reforms, capacity building, and legal protections against violence. Moreover, they underscore the importance of intersectional approaches that recognize the unique challenges faced by women from diverse backgrounds, whether rural, urban, or marginalized. Through collaboration with government agencies, private sector partners, and international organizations, these efforts seek to create an environment where women can thrive economically, socially, and politically. By amplifying women's voices, challenging patriarchal structures, and promoting inclusive development, these accomplishments contribute to building a more equitable and just society for all. As we end our presentation, we hope you've gained valuable insights into the crucial intersection of women and development. Thank you for lending us your ears. Until we meet again, may our collective efforts continue to uplift and empower women worldwide. Again, this is Miss Masayes together with Miss Balolong, Miss Bautista, Miss De Rojas, Miss Diaz, Miss Fungo, Miss Garcia, Miss Lopez, Miss Loria, Miss Padolina, Miss Pinpin, and Miss Salazar. Again, thank you.